You guys ever write this crazy, bad, nasty text message? And you know that the moment you press send, it's over. There's going to be tons of problems. And then you press send. Now, before we get to today's topic, thank you so much for joining us today. My name is s.k.y, and this is my sidekick, Chewy. Say hi, Chewy. All right, welcome to Espresso with s.k.y. Hope you guys are going to have an amazing time today with today's talk. If this is your first time here, go ahead, hit the subscribe, smash that notification bell. If you really want to help us out, go ahead and hit the like button below. And if you really want to help us out, what can you do? Leave a comment below. Now, if you don't know what comment to leave below, I'm going to give you a question to answer. Someone asked me, are you a mountain person or an ocean person? And you know what? Personally, I like both. However, if I were to choose, I think I'd rather go to the ocean, right? It's kind of more calm and peaceful. I don't know. That's just for me. All right, guys, leave that in your comments below. All right, so let's get into today's talk. Why do we still do things when we know absolutely in our minds that it's wrong and it's going to cause a ton of problems, right? Haven't you guys ever had that fight on text message, that fight, just verbally or talking to people, and you know that if you say that one thing, you know that if you press that send button with that text message that is so nasty, that if you send it, problems are going to happen, but you say it anyways, and you send that text anyways. And later you regret because you go through so much suffering, you go through so much pain for that one thing you just did. And then what do you have to do? You start going into the excuses, right? Like, well, some people are like really defensive. It's like, well, you started it, man. And because you started it, that's why you get you back because you said it to me first. Kind of like 3-year-olds. Or some people are more like, well, you know what? I didn't really mean it that way. Because I wasn't thinking that, but totally don't get me wrong. Don't misunderstand me. And you're trying to cover up for that stupid text or the stupid thing you said. We do it all the time. Now, the interesting thing is when you're looking at it from the outside, you're not in the situation. You see your friends, you see your family, you see these people doing the craziest things. You're like, what the heck are you guys? Why did you say? You knew that if you, what are you doing? And we are so dumbfounded that someone can actually do that. But it's so easy to look from the outside and say, these guys are stupid. But let me tell you something really important today. Emotion will always win. Emotion always wins. It doesn't matter about logic. It doesn't matter about reason. It doesn't matter about rationale. All those things will lose to emotion. And you're like, what? Really? Yes. Emotion is super powerful. Think about this. If you're scared of heights, you can go into this really super safe building and you know that the window's thick enough and you know that it's sturdy enough. You know that the building is not going to crumble, but you won't stand to the edge. It's so weird. It completely defies all logic and all reasoning, but because of that emotion, oh no, I can't move to the window even though you know it's absolutely safe. Everyone else is gonna be thinking, what the heck is this guy doing? Or what about the people who are scared of water? The water is 6 inches deep. You're like, no, I can't go into it. And you're going, even if you tripped and fell, you could not drown in 6 inches of water. What the heck is wrong with you? What is it? Emotion is more powerful than logic, reasoning, or even rationale, right? It actually makes no sense, but you have to understand it from the point of view of someone who's got that emotion. So why do we need such powerful emotion that overrides all logic, reasoning, and rationale? Why do we need that? Well, if you go way back in the past when we were cavemen, we were always in threat of our lives, right? Saber-toothed tigers and mammoths and lions and all these bears and all these animals trying to kill us. They're all trying to survive. So for survival's sake, we needed that powerful emotion that in those times we were too tired, in the times we were just exhausted, we fought with our wives or whatever it was. When that emotion, that powerful emotion kicks in, it's raw, and you have that energy either to fight or flight or run away, right? And that's why it's absolutely necessary. Now, look at today. Are we facing any of these real threats all the time? And the answer is absolutely not. What is the biggest threat that we face today? No internet.
No! God, please, no! No!
Oh my God, and my internet doesn't work. Hey, Mom, what's going on with the Wi-Fi? Mom, what's going on with this? Oh no, I ran out of data. This is the biggest threat we have. There's nothing threatening our lives anymore. And the interesting thing is this. Since there's nothing threatening our lives, we think that our brains would adapt, but your brain still remains the same. But since we've evolved so much, we have a higher brain. So we have the survival brain that's been there from the very beginning, and now we've developed something called a higher brain. And this higher brain is so good because it can stop the survival brain. This is why before you send the text, what do? Like, and then you either press it or you don't press it, right? So you're kind of like, should I press it? It stops you. It's like this emergency brake in a car. It's the air brakes in a truck, and you're like, should I? Oh, I know these problems will happen, but what do? We still press it instead. Why? Times have changed, but your brain still remains the same. We're not under threat all the time anymore, but your survival brain still treats every single threat the same, like no internet, no Wi-Fi, and your brain is still going off in the exact same way. What we need to understand is, remember, we have the survival brain and the higher brain. Your higher brain can override the survival brain. You know what it's like? It's kind of like the air brakes on like this big semi-truck. It's the emergency brake in your car. And we have to understand is your higher brain acts as that overriding emergency brake for your survival brain. So, let me give you 2 tips today, super easy, super simple, to allow you to grow your higher brain so you can override, so you don't keep pressing the send and you stop saying the stupid things to people and get into really bad fights and then you don't talk to each other for 2 weeks. Wait a second, I think I'm traumatized. I feel like I'm talking about myself right now. All right, so what are the 2 tips today to grow your higher brain? Number 1, simple, easy. It's actually so simple you're gonna be like, really? And the answer is, scientifically proven, number 1 is exercise. No, I'm serious. Exercise. Exercise is scientifically proven to help your higher brain recover and to grow it bigger and bigger and bigger. Guys, that sounds so simple. Why? Just exercise. It's good for you in so many different areas, but it's great for your higher brain. Guys, I don't have to go any further in this. It is exercise. Exercise and your higher brain will grow and it will override those emotional decisions that you make. Now, here's the thing. The second thing I'm going to talk about is emotion. Now, I just told you before that emotion is so powerful, it overrides everything. Which means we got to do that one thing that a lot of athletes do is they take that negative and make it a positive, make it a challenge, make it something that's going to make me better and the best of how I can be. You know those motivational talks? But that is changing that emotion for a stronger emotion. And that's what, have you ever heard in sports, oh, he's got a chip on his shoulder. Everyone keeps saying he's bad, but he's there to prove everyone wrong. That is using a more powerful emotion instead of that negative one. Now, here's the interesting study, guys. People who think they're the victim. People who think everyone is against them. People think, why does it always happen to me all the time? Those people who keep thinking that way, guess what happens to their higher brain? It actually shrinks. If you think like a victim, you always think it's about you and it's like, oh, everyone's out to get you, your higher brain actually shrinks. And this is why a lot of times you'll see on TV interviews of people just going crazy, just emotions are going nuts. Why? Because they keep thinking that they're a victim of everything and their higher brain shrinks and they cannot control their emotional side. It is scientific proof, guys. This is something that's actually happening in the world. And now you know why. What do we need to do? Take those negatives and put in a stronger, more powerful emotion. This is a challenge. This is something I'm going to prove everyone wrong. Guys, if I do this, it'll make me better. It'll keep me on top. No, I got to be the one that's always on top. These are the emotions that you could use that are much more powerful that will take and trigger your higher brain to do things and override those mental struggles of what? The survival brain saying, stop now. You might as well quit. You're not worth it. Oh, you're worthless. No one likes you. We have to use a stronger emotion to get over these things. All right, guys? So I hope that these 2 tips will really help you guys out so you can work on that higher brain and not do those... Should I press send? No, it'll be so bad. Okay. And then all the problems start flooding in, the dams have opened and all the problems start coming onto you and you suffer for a long time. And guess what, guys? We've all experienced it. Guys, Guys, I hope that you guys all learned something today. And once again, thank you so much for joining us. If this is your first time or if you haven't done it yet, hit subscribe, smash that notification bell. If you want to help us out, click the like button. And if you really want to help us out, leave a comment below. What's today's question? Are you a mountain person or an ocean person? All right, guys, have an amazing week, and we'll see you guys again next time. Bye-bye.